I want to bring in Hugh Hewitt now, MSNBC political analyst and host of the Hugh Hewitt Show on Salem Radio Networks. Hugh, thank you very much for joining me. I want to start by asking you, 100 days, what kind of grade does President Trump get?
Solid B. It's a sea change from President Obama. A lot has been accomplished. I wrote a piece for the Washington Post yesterday on the Gorsuch, of course, being the huge win. But the strike on Syria, the use of the Moab in Afghanistan, the charming of President Xi that is going on, the revitalization of the relationship with NATO, with Jens Stoltenberg in the country, not withdrawing from NAFTA. There's a lot happening. He's signed 30 laws, Stephanie. 13 of them are Congressional Review Act laws, which have significance beyond what many people understand, in that they operate to bar future regulations in the areas in which they have passed. A lot undone and some unnecessary stumbles. You and I are not enemies of the American people. You never call a federal judge a so-called judge. That's neither appropriate nor prudent. And so he's getting his way. I found in your conversation with Andy Card, which is a terrific interview, when Card said, and he's experienced and knows this, if the president is making easy decisions, the chief of staff is not doing his job. President Trump has acknowledged over the last 3 days it's a very hard job. So Reince Priebus is doing his job. And I am very happy, actually, where we are after 100 days, but I want the momentum in the right direction to continue, not abate.
Well, let's talk about one of those setbacks, one of the critical ones for President Trump, health care. You know, it was one of his chief campaign promises to repeal and replace Obamacare, but his bill swiftly failed in the House. And President Trump last night kind of laying the blame at the feet of Congress. Let's listen.
I'm disappointed that it doesn't go quicker. I like them a lot. I have great relationships. Don't forget, most of them I didn't even know. Right. But many of them, like the Freedom Caucus, came, and I see them and tell them, we love our president. We're doing this for our president. You look at that. You look at the moderates, the same thing. We love our president. They have different views. You know, I have a party that's covering a lot of territory. They have different views. I'm disappointed. I'll tell you, Paul Ryan's trying very, very hard. I think everybody's trying very hard. It is a very tough system.
Do you think, Hugh, at this point, the finger-pointing is productive? And where do you stand on where the blame needs to be here, whether it's shared or whether it really can be put at the feet of Paul Ryan?
Great clip. I do not blame the Speaker, as the President doesn't. I personally hold the Freedom Caucus responsible. I call the Area 51 sub-caucus within it. They stopped the momentum of repeal and replace. So Obamacare right now is actually Freedom Caucus care. Now they've come around, but it's a little bit late, and the window is broken, and they're trying to put it back together. And Charlie Dent, who's a pal, and a bunch of the liberal Republicans from up in the Northeast have got their concerns. They've got to get it together, and the president's frustration is Paul Ryan's frustration, is my frustration.
I think we've just lost Hugh Hewitt's signal there. We'll try to get him back. If you can still hear us. He's back. He's back. Terrific.
I'm back.
Thank you for rejoining us.
Packet loss. I was just saying I would want the House Republicans to take the Ryan way and do 75% of the repeal and replace that they had on the table, and to move forward quickly and not to allow their individual constituencies to drive paralysis. I'd also point out, Stephanie, the president has been very good on immigration. The delayed action, deferred action on children, childhood arrivals, DACA. He's not sending them home. And so that shuffle to the center that I wrote about yesterday, I view as very promising if he continues to embrace immigration reform with security at the border, as Jeff Sessions has been laying down a very stringent approach to the border. That's very good. You can combine that with immigration regularization for the people who are here, and it could turn into be a great second 100 days.
You mentioned the kind of shuffle in domestic policy. Has there been any similar kind of shuffle in foreign policy?
Yes, I think the fact that President Xi came to Mar-a-Lago, and the great enemy of the campaign and the transition, remember the phone call to the president of Taiwan, has become his working partner in the containment of the irrational regime of Kim Jong-un. And I have to say, if President Trump isn't inside of Kim Jong-un, software. We saw another missile blow up. He's certainly inside the young man's head, and that's partly because President Xi is working with him. Jens Stoltenberg, the Secretary General of NATO, came here, and we remember the press conference where the president said memorably, NATO is relevant again, because he's getting the redirection in NATO that he wants, and when Rick Grinnell is named ambassador there, I think he's going to get more of it. And I also look at not withdrawing from NAFTA. That's a shuffle to the center that I greatly applaud, because I'm a free trader. So I believe that Gary Cohn and Steve Mnuchin, they also dropped the attack on the home mortgage interest deduction, which is kind of the purist, the hack. The Wall Street Journal Republicans wanted to kill the home mortgage interest deduction, and Secretary Mnuchin didn't want to do that. That's more of the shuffle to the center. So on tax reform, on immigration, on foreign affairs, NATO, NAFTA, China, he's doing that incremental move to the center, which is powerful. Even though it doesn't show up in the polls yet, it's powerfully effective over the long term.
All right, Hugh Hewitt, thank you very much, MSNBC political analyst and host of the Hugh Hewitt Show.